The dust of Kepler 442b swirled in crimson patterns as Commander Jackson Cole knelt beside the small Velthian child. The boy's translucent skin shimmered with grief, bioluminescent patches dimming to almost nothing, a sign of profound sorrow among his kind. "Sir," the child whispered in broken galactic standard, his three-fingered hand clutching Jackson's weathered sleeve. "Can you bury my sister?" Jackson's jaw tightened. Behind him, Medical Officer Ana Martinez stepped forward, her scanner still in hand. They'd arrived on this colony world expecting a routine supply drop, not a massacre. The Kryn raiders had swept through the settlement like a plague, taking everything of value and leaving the Velthians, a peaceful, non-combatant species, broken and dying. "What's your name, son?" Jackson asked gently, his voice rough with suppressed emotion. "Tillich," the boy replied, his large oval eyes reflecting the burning remains of what had once been his home. "My sister is Mara. She stopped glowing. Anna knelt beside them, her medical training warring with her humanity. She'd seen the girl, maybe 8 standard years old by human reckoning. There was nothing anyone could have done. The Kryn had been thorough. "Tillich," Anna said softly, placing her hand near his shoulder without touching. The Velthians didn't like unexpected physical contact. "Where is Mara now?" The boy pointed toward a collapsed dwelling. Jackson and Anna exchanged glances. The human rescue team had been cataloging survivors for the past 2 hours, and each discovery was more heartbreaking than the last. The Galactic Council had protocols for this: sterilization, documentation, efficient processing. But something in Tillich's dimming bioluminescence made Jackson's blood boil. "Show me," Jackson said, standing. Anna grabbed his arm. "Jack, the Council protocols—" "Screw the protocols," he muttered, but loud enough for her to hear. "They're not here. We are." Tillich led them through the rubble, his small frame navigating the destruction with the practiced ease of someone who'd been searching for hours. Other Velthian survivors watched from the shadows, their lights flickering uncertainly. Humans were known in this sector. Warriors, yes, but also unpredictable. Dangerous. Mara lay beneath a partially collapsed beam, her body already beginning the rapid decomposition process common to her species. Her bioluminescent patches had gone completely dark. Tillich sat beside her, placing his hand on her chest. "On my world," Tillich said quietly, "we return our dead to the living soil. We plant a memory seed and they become part of the garden eternal." He looked up at Jackson with those impossibly large eyes. "But I am too small. I cannot dig deep enough. And the elders, they are all gone." Jackson had seen countless horrors during his 15 years in the Terran Expeditionary Force. He'd fought the Kryn, the Zolothians, even rogue human factions. He'd lost friends, squad mates, people he'd loved. But standing there looking at this child asking for the simple dignity of burying his sister, something cracked in his chest. "Anna," he said, his voice taking on the commander's tone that meant orders were coming. "Get the engineering kit from the shuttle. And find me every off-duty crew member now." "Jack, what are you—" "That's an order, Lieutenant." Anna hesitated only a moment before her boots were pounding back toward their landing site. Jackson removed his jacket and rolled up his sleeves. The temperature on Kepler 442b was 40 degrees Celsius, but he barely noticed. "Tillich, do you have one of these memory seeds?" The boy reached into a small pouch at his waist and produced a crystalline object that pulsed with faint inner light, one of the last glimmers of his dying world. "Show me where," Jackson said. "Show me where the garden eternal should be." Over the next 3 hours, something remarkable happened. Jackson didn't just dig a grave. He called in every favor, pulled every string, and made it abundantly clear that anyone who objected could face him in the ring. Anna returned with not just the engineering kit, but 12 crew members. Then 20. Then 40. The Velthians watched in confusion as humans, these strange endoskeletal creatures known for their warlike nature, began to work. They cleared rubble. They recovered bodies. They found memory seeds clutched in dead hands and carefully cataloged them. Jackson organized teams, assigned sectors, and worked alongside them, his hands bleeding from moving stone and metal. "Commander," Lieutenant Harris approached, his face grim. "The Council's liaison is demanding we follow extraction protocols. They're threatening to file a formal complaint." Jackson didn't even look up from the hole he was digging. "Tell them to file whatever they want. Tell them Commander Jackson Cole said they can shove their protocols into a singularity." Anna appeared beside the grave, her medical scanner now forgotten. In her arms, she carried an armful of small plants she'd found in the settlement's botanical reserves, native Velthian flora that had somehow survived. "For the garden," she said simply. Jackson nodded, his throat tight. Together they laid Mara in the earth with a gentleness that seemed impossible from hands trained for war. Tillich placed the memory seed on her chest, and Jackson covered them both with the red soil of Kepler 442b as the sun set, a binary system that painted the sky in shades of amber and violet. 43 humans and 67 Velthians stood in silence, around a garden that had not existed that morning. 43 graves, 43 memory seeds, 43 chances for life to continue in the face of senseless death. Tillich's bioluminescence, which had been nearly extinguished, began to glow softly. He looked up at Jackson with something that might have been hope. "Sir," the boy asked, his voice steadier now, "why did you help us? The galaxy says humans only care for humans." Jackson knelt once more, meeting those alien eyes with his own battle-scarred gaze. "Because, Tillich, humanity learned something a long time ago. We learned it through our own blood and tears, through our own mistakes and horrors." He placed his hand on the fresh soil. "We learned that the measure of a civilization isn't in its weapons or its wealth. It's in how it treats the most vulnerable when no one else is watching." Anna stepped forward, addressing the gathered Velthians. "Your council protocols say to sterilize and move on. Our humanity says to stop and remember. We may be warriors, but we're also gardeners. We're also family." The Velthians' lights began to pulse in unison, a rhythm that seemed to echo through the gathering darkness. It was, the humans would later learn, a song of remembrance, a song of gratitude. And when the Terran Expeditionary Force finally left Kepler 442b 3 days later, they left behind not just a garden of memory, but a promise carved in stone at its center, written in both Galactic Standard and English. "Here lie the innocent. Here grows hope. Never forgotten, never again." The galaxy would file its complaints. The Council would issue its sanctions. But 43 humans had drawn a line in the red dust of an alien world and declared that some things, compassion, dignity, the right to mourn, were worth more than protocols. That was the day the Velthians learned what the Kryn would soon discover. Humanity didn't just fight for territory or resources. Humanity fought for those who couldn't fight for themselves, and that made them the most dangerous species in the galaxy.